In this video I'll let you hear the sound of 6 well-known bass drum microphones on 3 different bass drums. And talk about how they handle, so you'll know which one will be best for you. The microphones in this video are the Electrovoice RE20, Shure Beta 52A, AKG D112, Sennheiser E602, the Audix D6 and the DPA 4055. I will start with the sound of the 6 microphones on the 3 bass drum. There's no EQ, no compression whatsoever. It's the sound of the bass drum into the mic into your ears. Every mic will have 4 isolated kick drum hits and then a little basic groove to highlight the bleed a bit. First up is a 22x18 maple bass drum. The mic is placed in the sound hole in the front head. Let's continue with a 24x18 bass drum. The mic is placed in front of the front head. Next up is a 22x16 kick with no front head at all. But first, if you like this video so far, make sure to subscribe to the channel. This video is made possible by DistroKid. Did you know that DistroKid released a very fun book for audio production? It has few words and lots of fun graphics, which makes it ideal for children and bass players. Sorry, I mean musicians, because haha, cool images. Like DAW, a computer program that records music, And jack. A jack is where we plug in cables. Find a link to the book in the description, just as a link for 7% off of your first year on DistroKid. Okay, here's the 22x16 without front head. The bass drum microphones are placed inside the shell. Of these three bass drums, it's highly intriguing to me that different microphones sound better on different parts of the bass drum. It all comes down to taste obviously, but for me there wasn't one microphone which sounded best like this on all three positions. The Electrovoice RE20 and DPA 4055 are by far the most neutral, uncolored sounding microphones of the lot. And you noticed that too in the next bleed test, where I placed a bass amp right next to the kick drum. So you can also hear how much rejection each of these mics do. In handling, these mics all differ from each other. Of all these 6 microphones, the Sennheiser E602 is the most user-friendly at first, with its integrated mount and backside XLR connection. The Audix D6 is also easy to place, but the issue is that this part is pretty short. Unless you have a matching microphone clamp, it will stick out. You will need a short microphone clamp for that. The DPA 4055 has the best clamp with this screw mount and is most easy to place because of the typical off-center shape, which is actually pretty nice. After a few times of use you will start to see some wear on the finish. The other mics are more robust in that sense. The Electrovoice RE20 obviously weighs a ton. And that will be the biggest drawback of using this mic, it's the sheer weight. It can easily sag if you don't use a proper mic stand and angle it in the right direction. It will sag because it's so heavy. A huge microphone. The AKG D112 has the disadvantage that the XLR connection is at the bottom. It's actually pretty versatile to place like this, but if you connect a microphone cable it will add quite a bit underneath, which can cause issues with small air holes in bass drums. You can turn it upside down, but you will need a strong clamp so it won't slide out. Normally you want to mount it upright, but then you will have that potential issue with the bottom connection. The Shure Beta 52A has a very solid integrated mount, but that adds quite a big chunk to the microphone. You can mount it like this, which makes it rather versatile and really reduces its footprint. But you have the microphone mount over here, which is right next to the microphone stand mount. This can give the issue that when you have a microphone stand arm mounted here and the XLR next to it, they will interfere with each other. It's also a pretty heavy microphone. Not as heavy as an Electrovoice RE20, but still weighs quite a bit. I already mentioned that the Electrovoice RE20 and DPA 4055 have the most linear sound of the bunch. I go in depth on the DPA 4055 and how flexible it is in the video, which is displayed on screen and linked in the description below.